Paleo, Keto, Vegan, Carnivore, Atkins, Raw Food. Every few months, there's a new diet telling us, this is it, this is the answer. And honestly, they all kind of work. For a while. Why? Because most of them usually gets us to stop eating ultra-processed junk. And that alone, that's a massive upgrade that does wonders for the body. But let's be real. Most diets, after a while, feel like punishment. So most of them are not really sustainable. Now here's where it gets interesting. Did you know that the keto diet was actually developed in the 1920s to treat children with epilepsy? Not exactly your typical wellness trend. As for the Paleo diet, it is based on what we think early humans ate, except that archaeologists found 14,000-year-old breadcrumbs. So much for no carbs. Remember that French paradox? Well, the French eat butter, cheese, baguettes, and drink wine. Yet they traditionally have lower heart disease rates than many other countries. Although that might have changed in recent years with a fast food joint at every corner. And in Okinawa, where people live some of the longest lives on earth, over 60% of their calories come from sweet potatoes, not protein shakes. So maybe it's not about carbs versus fat, probably not meat versus plants either. Maybe it's more about the context. When we look at the blue zones, these rare regions where people regularly live past 100, there's no extreme diet in sight. They eat mostly plants, so that's a win for the plant eaters, yes. But some meat is also included in their diet. More importantly, they cook at home. They don't snack every 2 hours. They walk a lot. They garden, like me. Well, like me a few months ago, no comments. Anyway, maybe what helps the most is that the people in those blue zones, well, they're part of a community. They don't eat alone in cars or while scrolling their phones. They eat real food, surrounded by real people, with real laughter. Maybe that makes all the difference. I remember watching a documentary on the blue zones, and there was this very old man, still fit, in Sardinia, who walked every day to his favorite bar and had a glass of wine in the middle of the day when he got there. And don't get me going on the Greek guy who lived in the States and was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He went back to his native island to die there peacefully, but somehow stayed alive, living beyond 100 years old. His secret? Working in the vineyards, getting plenty of sun, eating natural foods, and drinking organic wine. He wasn't on any extreme diet, and yet he cured his cancer. Today, many modern diets often turn into identity cults. You're not just someone who eats low carb. You're Keto Karen, keeper of the avocado oil, warrior against the evil grain. It's easy to get trapped in these food philosophies because they give us structure. They make us feel like we're in control. And when it works for a few weeks or months, we tell everyone, this is it, I found the secret. But here's the deal, most extreme diets aren't sustainable, and many can actually stress the body over time, especially if they ignore emotional health, social life, or gut diversity. Not so long ago, I decided to go low carb again. So I asked ChatGPT to give me a recipe for keto naan breads. I was advised to use coconut flour and psyllium husk. I can only say dinner that day was one of my darkest moments. Perhaps ChatGPT pulled one on me that day, or perhaps some things are just not worth experimenting. So what's the best diet? Probably one that doesn't demonize entire food groups and doesn't make us anxious every time we look at the menu. Also, if you consider Ayurveda, it's all about body types. In other words, the kind of diet that works for you depends on the body type you've got. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. To be honest, I tried to do a test for that one, which didn't really take me anywhere. So when it comes to food, I'm still being guided instead by my reliable friends, gut bacteria. But this is ancient wisdom, so it might work for you even if it didn't work for me. Ultimately, the point is, we are all different, and we need to find a diet that works for us, not against us. The one that feels good, not just looks good on Instagram. Food is more than fuel. It's culture, it's connection, it's memory, it's joy. And sometimes it's just comfort, and that's okay too. So instead of chasing the next perfect diet plan, let's eat mostly whole, real foods. Let's slow down when we eat. Let's listen to our bodies. Now, if your diet choices are motivated by your culture, spiritual beliefs, or concerns for animals or the planet, by all means hang on to those. They define who you are. But be careful not to be dragged into anything extreme, thinking it's the ultimate health hack. And if, at the end of the day, you still want to follow a diet, great. Just don't forget to leave room for a little chocolate, or bread, not with coconut flour, or rice, and definitely joy. Plenty of joy.